If you're a man over 50, I want you to stop for 1 minute and listen very carefully to this. Because there is a truth almost no one says directly to older men. The question, is my size enough, never really goes away, not when you're married, not after years of experience, not even when you've passed 60. Movies distort everything. Social media exaggerates, jokes, and compares. Friends sometimes tease just for fun, yet it leaves you quietly worried. And in all that noise, so many men silently ask themselves, am I normal? Am I enough? What do women actually want? But here is the most surprising part. Science says the complete opposite of what society makes you believe. And today I'm going to tell you clearly what size women actually prefer, why men feel insecure even when they're completely normal, and the 5 biggest mistakes that destroy a man's confidence without him realizing it. You just need a few minutes with me to understand that the worries you've carried for years may be completely unnecessary. Before we dive into these important scientific truths, I want you to know who I am and why I've dedicated nearly my entire career to men's health after 50. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a urologist specializing in male physiology, with 14 years of experience working directly with middle-aged and older men. During those years, I've seen hundreds, even thousands of men over 50 walk into my clinic with the exact same quiet fear. Doctor, I'm afraid I'm not enough. Doctor, I'm afraid my wife is disappointed. Doctor, I know aging changes things, but is my size actually normal? And the part that breaks my heart the most is this. Most of those men were completely normal, even very healthy, but no one had ever told them the truth. That fear doesn't just affect them in the bedroom, it slips into their daily life, making them feel inadequate, avoid intimacy with their partner, lose confidence at work, even change the way they see themselves. I'm making this video for one simple reason. Older men deserve truth, not fear. And right now, I'm going to help you see that truth clearly, scientifically, and fully, so you can walk into your 50 seconds, 60 seconds, and 70 seconds with the confidence you truly deserve. Before we continue, I want to ask you something small, but very important to our channel. What age are you watching this at? And which city or country are you watching from? I truly love seeing our men's health community, men in their 50 seconds, 60 seconds, 70 seconds plus, coming from all over the world, whether you're in the US, Canada, Australia, Europe, or watching from Vietnam. Every comment helps me understand your health journey better. So take 5 seconds to comment. I'm years old, watching from. That helps me create content that's more relevant, more practical, and aligned with what men your age truly need. Is that all right with you? Now, let's talk about something most men never hear honestly. What size do women actually prefer? And here is something that might surprise you and relieve you more than anything you've ever heard. When women are allowed to choose privately, without pressure, without comparison, they choose average size. Not the extreme, not the exaggerated numbers online, not the unrealistic performer images in adult films, but perfectly normal size. Major global studies show that the average length women feel most comfortable and satisfied with is 5-6 inches. The average girth is around 4.55 inches. And the best part? Most men fall exactly within this range. Even the men who are constantly insecure are usually right inside the zone women prefer most. Why is that? Because women are not looking for maximum size. They're looking for comfort, connection, gentle rhythm, a sense of safety, and emotional understanding from their partner. For women, intimacy isn't a competition of who's bigger. It's about feeling loved, respected, and connected. Some studies even show that women prioritize emotional closeness and intimacy above anything else, something size alone can never determine. And here is what I want you to remember very clearly. If you fall within the average range, and 90% of men do, you are already in the exact range women prefer. Not lacking, not less, not someone who needs to become something else. Your confidence, your care, and your overall health matter far more than any number ever will. The first mistake, and also the most dangerous one, is not about size, not about age, not about the body. It's letting insecurity slip into the bedroom and control every intimate moment. I've met far too many men over 50 who tell me the same thing. Doctor, every time I get intimate, I worry I'm not enough. Doctor, I'm afraid of disappointing my wife. Doctor, I don't feel as confident as before. And they think this fear only exists inside their mind. But the truth is that insecurity doesn't stay quietly in your head. It goes straight down into your body and destroys everything. When you're anxious, cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down, blood flow to the penis drops sharply. The result? Weaker erections, shorter duration, emotions breaking apart, both partners feeling tense, not because you're not enough, but because your body simply cannot function normally when you're scared you're not enough. And here is something even more important. Women are extremely sensitive to emotion. They can feel a man's insecurity in seconds, and that alone can break the moment before it even begins. I've heard so many women confide in my clinic. I wish he would worry less. I just want him to relax. I don't care about size. I care about feeling connected. I'm not afraid of small. I'm afraid of him closing himself off. Men often think women judge them by size, but women judge by presence. Are you focused on her? Are you listening to her body? Are you relaxed and enjoying the moment? Are you confident and gentle? A man who is afraid cannot be present, cannot connect, cannot lead the moment. And this is why this mistake is, number one, insecurity, not size, is the fastest way to ruin intimacy. And the irony is this: the more you worry about size, the weaker you become. The more confident you are in presence and connection, the stronger you become. Science shows that relaxed, confident men have higher testosterone, stronger erections, better endurance, and much higher partner satisfaction. So here is the first piece of advice I want you to take with you. Let confidence lead the moment, not a measuring tape. The second mistake that so many men over 50 make is this. They think the problem is size, when the truth is actually overall health. I want you to understand this clearly. The penis is not a separate body part. It's part of your circulatory system, part of your hormone system, and part of your entire body. If those systems weaken, you can have perfectly normal size, even very healthy size, and still experience problems in intimacy. Science shows 70% of erections depend on blood circulation, 20% depend on hormones, especially testosterone, and the rest comes from sleep, energy, and mental state. So if you move very little, are under chronic stress, sleep poorly, don't drink enough water, or eat lots of sugar and unhealthy fats, your body will react immediately. Reduced blood flow to the pelvis, lowered testosterone, slower arousal, reduced firmness, a sharp drop in confidence. All of these make you believe size is the issue, when in reality, overall health is the root cause. I once had a 5-8-year-old patient. He told me, "Doctor, I'm afraid I've shrunk. Everything feels weaker." After examining him, I told him, "No, your size is completely normal. What's weak is your circulation and hormones." We changed only 4 things: drinking 2.5 liters of water a day, brisk walking for 20 minutes each morning, sleeping 7 hours, cutting sugar and alcohol. After 6 weeks, he returned and said, "Doctor, I never thought I could feel this strong again at my age." His size didn't change. His body simply started functioning properly again. Women always tell me this. They don't need a perfect man. They need a man with energy, presence, and vitality. A man who is tired, sleep-deprived, and has poor circulation will always feel not enough. A healthy man, full of vitality and self-care, no matter his size, is attractive. That's why I always tell my patients, want more confidence in the bedroom? Take care of your body first. When the body is strong, You don't need to worry about the numbers. Your body takes care of itself, and confidence comes naturally. The third mistake, and also one of the biggest causes of insecurity in men, is comparing yourself to movies, social media, and exaggerated stories in real life. I want to tell you something very honestly. What you see on the internet is not real life. Adult films are selected, staged, edited, shot from flattering angles, and even digitally altered to create the illusion of a size larger than reality. Social media is full of bragging, exaggeration, jokes, and over-the-top stories meant to entertain or shock. But older men accidentally believe, maybe everyone is like that, except me. Science tells a completely different story. The real average size of men worldwide, 5-6 inches in length when erect, 4.55 inches in girth. Those are the real numbers. What you see online falls far outside the normal population, often only 0.11% of men. But because it appears so frequently, our brains start thinking, this is the standard. This is called the distorted expectations effect. And men over 50 or 60 are the group affected most, because you've heard size jokes for decades but rarely heard the actual science. I once had a 63-year-old patient tell me, "Doctor, I think him too small, because in films they're all bigger than me." I measured him and said, "You are exactly in the range women prefer most. Films only made you believe you're lacking." He sat quietly for a moment and said, "I worried about this for 20 years. 20 years of insecurity, only because he compared himself to something that wasn't real. And here is the most important thing I want you to remember. Women do not compare you to films. Only men do that. Women care about feeling safe, emotional connection, gentleness, the right rhythm, your confidence in the moment. No one loves you for a number. They love you for the way you love them. So if you want intimacy to return naturally, deeply, and fully, stop comparing yourself to things that aren't real. It won't make you more confident. It will only steal the peace you deserve." The fourth mistake, and also a misunderstanding many men carry their entire lives, is believing that women want the bigger, the better. The truth? That is completely wrong, and not just a little wrong, but wrong from the very foundation. Women do not view size the way men view it, because their bodies operate under a completely different mechanism. Here is what I want you to understand clearly. 1. A woman's body prioritizes comfort, not size. The vagina is designed to stretch and adapt, but that does not mean it wants very large. In fact, many women experience pain, burning, discomfort, tension, when length or girth exceeds what is comfortable. In research groups, women reported, too large causes pain, too long breaks the mood, too forceful makes them anxious. What they want is what fits, not what is extreme. 2. Most sensory nerves are located in the outer 1/3 of the vagina, which means emotion, connection, rhythm, external stimulation, closeness matter far more than length. It's not how many inches, but how you use them. 3. Women care more about connection than numbers. In my clinic, I've heard hundreds of women sit in front of me and say, "I just want to feel close to him. What I hate most is when he gets anxious and stops focusing on me. I don't remember how long he is. I remember how he loved me." Men measure by size. Women measure by emotion. And this difference is what many men misunderstand for decades. 4. Not all women are the same. Some feel fine with slightly larger sizes. Some prefer average. Some don't care about size at all, only connection. There is no universal standard. There is no ideal number. What women want, the thing most men accidentally overlook, is communication. Simple questions like, "Do you like it this way? Do you want slower or faster? Do you want me closer?" are worth more than any number. And here is what I want you to remember. Most women prefer average size because it's the most comfortable. They connect through emotion, not measurement. The only thing they fear is a man who feels ashamed, not a man who is small. When you understand a woman's body correctly, All the pressure about size disappears. And what replaces it is confidence, relaxation, and deeper intimacy. The fifth mistake, and also one of the longest-lasting misunderstandings men have carried for decades, is the belief that bigger is better. This belief does not come from science. It does not come from women. It does not come from real-life experience. It comes from movies, jokes, bragging culture, and exaggerated ego-boosting comments between men. But in real life, this mindset makes many men insecure, disconnected, and even avoid intimacy, even though they are completely normal. The scientific truth is very clear. Women do not prefer extreme size. Over 90% choose average size. Most women say oversized length or girth is painful and uncomfortable, and most importantly, there is no evidence that bigger equals better in a woman's satisfaction. What women truly value is gentleness, attentiveness, emotional connection, the right rhythm, and the way you make them feel safe and understood. Those are the things that create real intimacy, not a number on a ruler. I once heard a 62-year-old woman share in a couples counseling session, "I don't want a perfect man. I just want a man who is calm, attentive, and loves me the right way." No one said, "I want him to be over 8 inches." No one. The things men think women care about are often the things women don't care about at all. And the things men overlook are often the things women remember forever. So, what is the mistake here? The mistake is believing in a standard that does not exist and allowing that imaginary standard to make you doubt yourself. When you let go of the bigger is better mindset, something powerful happens. You start focusing on the woman in front of you, not the fear inside your head. You become more present, more confident, more natural, and intimacy becomes deeper not because your size changed, but because your mindset did. Before we move on to the next part, I want to ask you one simple question. Have you ever believed the idea that bigger is better, even though it never felt right to you? If yes, let me know in the comments. Not for judgment, but so you know you are not alone. There are millions of men over 50 who feel exactly the same way, and your comment may help another man feel relief today. Now that we've gone through the 5 biggest mistakes that cause men over 50 to lose their confidence, I want to give you 4 simple, yet incredibly powerful actions that can change everything. Starting today, none of these require medication, surgery, or comparing yourself to anyone else. All you need is a small shift in habits and mindset. 1. Stop comparing yourself. This is the first step to freedom. Comparing yourself to films, social media, or unrealistic stories will only make you feel not enough even when you are perfectly normal. You don't need to become an exaggerated version of someone else. You only need to become the realist version of yourself. Unfollow content that makes you insecure. Stop listening to jokes that make you doubt your worth. Confidence begins the moment you stop looking at others and start looking at yourself. 2. Know the average range women actually prefer. This is scientific truth, not opinion. Length, 5-6 inches. Girth, 4.55 inches. Multiple international studies confirm this is the range women are most satisfied with. And the vast majority of men, including you, fall exactly into this range. When you understand this, you'll realize that all the worry you carried for years was unnecessary. You were enough from the beginning. Science proves it. 3. Focus on skill, emotion, and connection. Women don't remember size. They remember how you touched them, whether you listened, whether you adjusted your rhythm, whether you were present in the moment. Foreplay, communication, breathing, gentleness create far more pleasure than any number ever could. If you truly want to satisfy your partner, focus on understanding her body going slower, creating emotion, maintaining eye contact, listening to her responses. This is how a mature man makes love, and how a woman loves him back. 4. Improve overall health. Size does not determine strength in the bedroom. Circulation, hormones, and energy do. And these are the 4 things I want you to start today. Drink enough water, at least 2 liters per day. Walk 20-25 minutes every morning boosts pelvic circulation. Sleep 7 hours, 80% of testosterone recovery happens during sleep. Reduce sugar, alcohol, and smoking, the top 3 testosterone killers. When your body becomes stronger, you will feel the difference in just a few weeks. Not because you're bigger, but because you're healthier, stronger, and more confident. Before we end today, I want you to pause for a moment and truly feel what I'm about to say. Because these words don't just come from a doctor. They come from 14 years of listening to men, listening to their fears, their shame, the things they never dared to tell anyone, and the moments when they finally found their confidence again. And I want you to know this. You are more enough than you ever realized. Age does not take your manhood away. Changes in your body do not make you lesser. The passing years do not reduce your worth. What truly defines you is the way you love, the way you care, the way you show up, the way you make your woman feel safe, and the way you cherish intimate moments. Not a number on a ruler, not a comparison with anyone else, not the myths society has placed on men since boyhood. I've seen so many men walk into my clinic with worry in their eyes and leave with a truth that nearly brought them to tears. They weren't lacking, they weren't small, they weren't weak. They simply misunderstood themselves. And once they understood correctly, everything changed. Intimacy became deeper. Confidence returned. Relationships grew warmer. And the feeling of owning their body came back. I believe this with all my heart. 50, 60, or 70 is not the end. It's the stage where men understand themselves the most and where they can be the most confident. When you know who you are, when you know what truly matters, when you let go of the fear that has followed you for far too long, you become exactly the man women want. A calm man, a strong man, a man confident in his real worth. And I want you to carry this one sentence with you no matter how old you are. You don't need to measure by size. You only need to measure by your presence and your heart. And that will always be enough. If today's message helped you understand your body better, or made you feel lighter about something so many men silently worry about, I'm truly glad I could be here with you. And if you want to continue receiving videos from the Senior Men Health Secrets channel, videos that speak honestly, openly, without judgment, and help men over 50-60 regain their confidence naturally and scientifically, you can click like or subscribe, not because of the algorithm, but because I don't want you to miss the important knowledge made specifically for your age. And before we finish today, I want to remind you of something important. All the information in this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace professional diagnosis or medical treatment. If you have any health concerns, please consult your healthcare provider for guidance that fits your individual condition. Thank you for spending your time here with me, Dr. Emily Carter. I wish you strength, confidence, and the pride to walk through life after 50 with your head held high. I'll see you in the next video.